Namaskar, another Satsang under the Peepal tree. I've dealt with this before, but I'm going to deal with this again. The Nirvana Shatakam, did in a short way in Banaras during Shivratri. I want to go into the details of the descriptions of Shankara about the Nirvana Shataka. Now, it may not be over in 1 hour today, we'll try. If it's not, then we'll have another session, and then after all the talk sessions are over, then we shall release the song, the singing of Nirvana Shataka. So before you hear the song, it's a good idea to have an idea what's going on. What is the meaning of Nirvana Shataka and the circumstances under which the song was, the slokas were created by Shankara, was spoken by him. As you all know that the author of Nirvana Shataka is Shankar Bhagavad Adi Shankaracharya, and there are many versions, but one of the versions which could be true mostly was that when his guru, his teacher Govindapada, looked at him and found a young man standing before him who seemed to, there was something about him which was different. So he asked him, "Who are you? Who are you?" So normally one would say, "My name is this," or so and so. So the story is that Shankara then started singing the Nirvana Shataka when you were asked who he was. So that is the Nirvana Shataka. So Nirvana and Shataka. Shataka means six verses is Shataka. And Nirvana can't be described. Trying to describe Nirvana, the Upanishad declares that there are no words to describe it. However, generally as we know it, Nirvana means freedom. Totally free, not attached to an image, a sound or a person, anything of that kind. When that, and also Nirvana, some people have defined it as the blowing off of the flame, which doesn't mean that it's the blowing away of consciousness, and it's not unconsciousness, but it means the blowing away of all the flames that create problems for us. All the desires, everything is all settled. Then when the mind is completely settled, it's no more thinking of gear cows or whatever, then Nirvana begins slowly. So it doesn't mean unconsciousness, everything is gone and we are free, no. It means that all the desires that we have for us and for others and various things, they all disappear, and then there is consciousness is very much there, but that consciousness is not identified with anything else. This is Nirvana. So actually it's beautiful to hear the Nirvana Shataka being sung. But today we are not singing the Nirvana Shataka, we are just discussing the Nirvana Shataka. Song will come in the process. So the first sloka of the Nirvana Shataka reads, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Ni Naham Na Cha Shrotra Jihve Na Cha Grana Netre Na Cha Vyoma Bhumir Na Tejo Na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now we need to look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4th line first before we go to the first line. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham. So, what is Chid Ananda Rupa? What is Shivoham? Shivoham. First of all, does Shivam mean here? Shiva here mean Shankara sitting with his, Shankara meaning Mahadeva sitting with a snake and a Chandrakala on the head meditating, or does it mean something else? That's to be looked at first. That is the last part of every sloka. So, every stanza. So, Shivoham, Shivoham. What does Shivoham mean? First, then we go there. Shivam, the word Shivam does not mean a form or a shape or a figure or a deity that you worship, not even a linga. Linga is the minimal deity that you can worship. Minimal, there is no form, there is only a symbol. Actually, linga means symbol. But Shivam is beyond even the symbol of a linga. Shivam means, if you look at the meaning of the word, it would mean bliss, anandam. It would mean auspiciousness. It could mean the all-pervading. Actually, Shivam here means what in Vedanta or in the Upanishads is described as the supreme, all-pervading, indefinable, almost asparsha, untouched, that which cannot be touched, that supreme reality which the Upanishads and Vedantins call Para Brahma. That is the meaning given here to Shiva. In fact, Para Brahman in the Kashmiri Shaivism literature is throughout referred to as Shivam. Shivam. So that is Shivam. And Hum, we all know. I don't think there is anybody who doesn't know what is Hum. Hum. In fact, there is more Hum than anything else. Aham. So, it is Shiva Aham. I am Shivam. When you put it in one word, it becomes Shivoham. That's all. There is no need of Ah. So, Shivoham means I am that Shivam. But it doesn't look like it. Because I eat, I drink, I talk, I pee, I love, I hate, I enjoy, I suffer, I sleep, I wake up, I live, I am born and I die. So that can't be Shivam. Normally when I say Hum, that's what it means. The body which is in front of us, which is eating, drinking, moving, loving, hating, suffering, enjoying, sleeping, waking up, this is the Hum. Shankaracharya in the Nirvana Shatakam says, Shivoham, Shivoham. This is not the Hum that we are looking for. The real Hum, the real me, Aham, is of the form of Shivam, which is Chidananda Rupa. Rupa doesn't mean here form, it means of the form of, not form Rupa that way. Of, this is of that, you say form of speech, that way. So, Chidananda, Chit, consciousness. It's not dead, it's not a Padhartha. This Hum, the real Aham, the real inner being, which is what I really am, is of the form of consciousness and not something that is unconscious, like a Padhartha, like a physical object. And its characteristic, innate characteristic, is Ananda, bliss, which means it doesn't derive bliss from anything. It does not depend on any external factor for bliss, but by its very nature, it is of the form of bliss. That is, when all attempts to find happiness and bliss in anything external ceases, and it will cease only when you find a complete futility of it. When you see that and it ceases, then all that remains is the bliss of the inner self, which is conscious, Chit. So, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, that is my true nature. If it is my true nature, as Shankaracharya says, his true nature, then it is the true nature of all of us sitting here and those who are not here. It can't be that only one person has a true nature. Everybody has their true nature, and that true nature is consciousness, bliss, therefore the all-pervading Shivam. So, the last sentence in all the Shatakas, in all the stanzas would be Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. So, before going there, the rest of the lines are a negation of what one thinks one is, so that one eliminates that and sees what one is as one really is. So, this is the thing. So, this is typically also the Vedantic way of finding the truth. Eliminate all that is untrue one by one, cancel. There will come a point when you can cancel no more. There is only be one who is cancelling, there is nothing else left. And that one who is cancelling will soon realize that there is nothing to cancel. It is that which one was seeking already. What one was seeking outside appears when you have cancelled, eliminated and negated everything that you thought was me. My wrong identification. So, removing that wrong identification is the method which is called ne iti, not this. So, all the slokas start with saying, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. I am of the nature of bliss and consciousness, I am Shivam, I am Shivam. So, it starts with elimination. So, when finally nothing remains, nothing can be eliminated, then the seeker suddenly finds that what he is seeking is himself and there is nothing else to seek. When this happens, one is in the stage called Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Actually, therefore, it is the highest essence of Vedanta that this beautiful little song of Nirvana Shatakam demonstrates. There is nothing more to do. It is the height of Vedanta. Of course, how to go about it is a different story, but at least the theoretical idea should be there in the mind before we start working towards it. So, this is the thing. So, the first stanza says, Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jihve nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham. So, first it starts with myself, then it starts with the external world. Mano. Now, you know, mana, buddhi, ahamkara, chitta. These are 4 words, they are from the Sankhya Darshana actually, Sankhya Darshana. Sankhya Darshana divides the human personality into manasa, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. Now, one by one. Mano means manas is a general word. It includes all that thing that can be circumscribed inside. I was about to say circumscribed inside thought. Anywhere, any thought, good thought, bad thought, higher thought, lower thought, intelligence, thinking, everything together can be called mana, because you cannot think of the mind without thought. So, mano is a general word, which means anything that you think of, anything that you aspire to, anything that mano, this I am not. Then buddhi. Now, some people think that buddhi here relates to intelligence. From the Sankhya point of view, which of course Shankara has adopted in Vedanta in many places, he was a master of all the darshanas. So, where necessary, he would take from Sankhya, Mimamsa, anything he wanted. Nyaya. So, now manas is that whole thought process, the whole idea of thought. Buddhi, in Sankhya terminology, buddhi means the first basic intelligence which happens to us when we wake up from deep sleep and say, I exist. That is the first buddhi. I exist. When I exist, then the other exists. First, I know I exist, then I see other things, and that exists. So, I exist, then the other world exists. If I don't exist, even if the world is there, means nothing to me. That first spark of saying, yes, I have the knowledge of my existence, is the intelligence called buddhi here. It's from the Sankhya Darsanas. Now, when I say I exist, then there is a division between me and what is not me. Ahamkara begins there. Now, somebody said this fellow, Malayalam is very commonly Vahangara Ahankaram. Ahankaram means Ahamkara, that means only me, only me, only me, only for me, only mine. Now, for that to start, first, Mano includes all this, okay? Buddhi, that means the first realization that I exist. From there, I know the other exists. And then with the other exists, already there is a division between me and the other. The moment there is division, it is the root of Ahankara. There is no division, what Ahankara can I have? I can't have. I don't have this, that guy has that. Or I have everything, that fellow doesn't have anything. All this is part of Ahankara. I know, the other guy doesn't know. Or that guy knows and I don't know, so I don't like him. This is Ahamkara. It basically is based on the word Aham, means my own self. So, any self-centered activity can be placed under the definition of Ahamkara. It can be calm, it can also be what shall I call it? There are calm Ahamkaras and there are angry Ahamkaras. So when someone is always angry and agitated, you can make out the Ahamkara easily, but when one is calm, it is difficult to make out the Ahamkara. A guy is thinking, this guy doesn't know anything, it's okay. This is big Ahamkara, actually. So, Mano, Buddhi, Ahamkara. Now comes Chitta Aninaham. I am also not the Chitta. Now, Chitta, now when I say Mana, it includes all that is in thought. Say Buddhi, it is the realization, the first intelligence that I exist. Ahamkara, then the other exists, then there is division, and then there is this self-centeredness. I don't want to give to others, only for myself. Now, Chitta here means the ordinary mind of ours, not the whole thing called thought and structure, the mind which sees, which eats, which interacts with you in a limited fashion. This Chitta is that entity which is full of disruptions, tensions, disagreements, agreements, movement, waves. So, the waves in the Chitta are called the vrittis. Now, vritti may be good vritti, it could be a bad vritti. Both are vrittis. Vrittis means any disturbance in the calmness of that lake or pond can't say ocean because there are always waves coming. You have a calm water body with not a single ripple. When there is a ripple, it's already chitta. Vritti. So, chitta can be with vritti and chitta can be without vritti. When there is the chitta with opposing thoughts, conflicts, disturbances, distractions, that is the normal chitta. The aim of yoga according to Yoga Sutras of Patanjali is chitta vritti nirodha, stopping of the vrittis or movements or the waves of the chitta. Now the question is, if the waves or the vrittis, now you can actually talk about the chitta only when there are these vrittis. You cannot otherwise talk about chitta. You cannot define chitta without these vrittis. So when chitta vritti nirodha takes place, if it takes place at all, then the chitta as we know it does not exist. There is no individual chitta. There is still there is mind, feeling, but it is on a larger level. It's mana. It's not chitta anymore. Chitta happens only when there are vrittis. Chitta vritti nirodha means when you have removed all the vrittis of the chitta, then the chitta as we know it does not exist. It's gone. So, mano, buddhi, ahamkara, chittani naham. I am neither this mana, thought, nor, let's say theoretically, we don't know, let's say theoretically thinking about it. We are also not the buddhi. Why? Because when you are in deep sleep, you don't have the buddhi to know that I exist. It's a temporary affair. So I am not the buddhi. Ahamkara, we know how complicated ahamkara is. The division between you and me, the division between the world, this and that, black and white, that ahamkara, and the pride that we have, and the egotistic tendencies are ahankara. That also I am not. I am trying to separate myself because I am fed up of it. See, I'm fed up of it. It is horrible. Let me be free. I am not this. Can I be something else? Chitta also no. Naham. I am not. Then, nacha shrotra jihve. Nacha grana netre. Now this again is a reflection of the Upanishadic thought. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manayat vajoka vacham sahu pranasya prana. When he says na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati no mana. This is Upanishad. That means that which I actually am in reality, there the I cannot reach. Na tatra chakshur gacchati. There words cannot reach, neither can it be defined, nor can somebody say what it is. When I reach there, I am usually silent. I cannot say anything. Vak gacchati. No description is enough. No mana. Even the mind cannot reach. In fact, the Rishi is a little perplexed about how to put it to somebody. So he says, I don't know how to teach you this. Vidmo na vijanimo yatha tattvanujishyat. How can I teach it to you? I don't know. Talking about something which the eye cannot reach. Words cannot describe. Even the mind cannot reach. The ordinary mind, which is full of mano, buddhi, ahamkara, chitta vrittis. This mind cannot even reach it. So, if that is so, if that's my true end, I cannot be any of these things. I cannot be the instruments through which I see the world at all, because I am that which sees, not the instrument. I am the seer, S-E-E-R, and not that which is seen. So, if I identify myself with the eye and the tongue that Incidentally, the puri bhaji was very nice in the afternoon. And neither the nose nor the eyes, that means I can, even the smell that I get when good dal is made, tadka, that is also not me. None of these are me, nor are my eyes. Shrotra is ears. So, Nacha, I am not the Shrotra, but Shrotra is used to hear by me. I am not the Shrotra. And Jihve, I use the tongue to taste. I am not the tongue. I am one who is enjoying the taste. And neither am I the nose which smells, because the enjoyer of the smell is me, not the nose. Nor am I the eye which sees, because I am the one who enjoys the sight, not the eye that sees. I am not that instrument. Then it comes to the outside world. Then, if I am not all these, am I part of the outside world? Am I space or earth or water or fire or wind? Nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu. Neither am I the space that surrounds. So, now here is the distinction between the Shivoham, which is Chit, consciousness, and space, because there are some definitions which say that space is consciousness. When the mind is in complete, it's not. Consciousness is even beyond space, because consciousness does not need any space. There are no measurements out there, you can't measure it. And it is not the sky that you see, which is normally called space. Here and there also. It can't be something there only, it has to be here also. So, therefore, it is not space, it is not this earth, because there are many innumerable earths, different kinds of worlds are there. And this earth also, thousands of years ago, it has come out somehow, created, and it is going to get destroyed and disappear one day. It could be a comet, it could be anything. So many manvantaras have passed, so many yugas have passed. The earth is not a permanent place. Although when you live here, it is good to keep it nice, but always remember it can slip out at any time. So, I am not the earth, I am also not the fire, nor the water, nor the wind. Na cha vyoma bhumir, na tejo na vayu. Then what am I? Shankara says, then I am Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am actually actually, even if you think about it theoretically, it's such a freeing thought. There is no bondage of any kind, no connection of any kind. You are actually the free something which you cannot even put your finger on. It's an amazing thing, and it's bliss, it's ananda, and it's conscious, it's not unconscious, it's not sleep, it's not death, it's living. I am that Supreme Being. Now the second sloka is saying the same thing in a little different way. Nacha prana sangyo, navai panchavayu, nava sapta dhatur, nava panchakosha, navakpani padam, na chophastapayu, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. There it was talking about abstract things, it's coming down a little more closer to concrete things. Nacha prana, I am not the breath. See, look at breath. Breath is a very important part of our life. We live only as long as we breathe. The moment the breath is stopped, it is all over. In pranayam you can stop it for a short while in Kumbhak, but not for a long. It's finished. So, from the time the breath starts in the womb of the fetus and then till it ends, which is death, breath is very important. But I am not that breath, because even after that breath and breathing has stopped, I am still there. I don't need a breath to survive. That's why in high state of spiritual consciousness, there is hardly any breathing going on. Maybe imperceptibly, sometimes not there also, because you are consciousness, you are nothing controlled by the breath, you don't need oxygen, you don't need carbon, none of these things are required. So, I am not this prana, nor the 5 elements. 5 elements meaning Prithvi, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Apas, Agni, Vayu, Akasha. I am none of these 5 elements. This is also from Sankhya, this terminology of the 5 elements. Prithvi does not mean the earth. Prithvi means all that we see in this world as solid. That's Prithvi. And all that you see in this world as liquid is Apas. And all that you see as combustion, fire, heat, light, Agni. And all that you see as space, not even space, as wind, Vayu, is Vayu. And Akasha doesn't mean actually the sky. Sky is a symbol of Akasha. Akasha means the primordial substance from which all other substances are created through definitions. This is Akasha. Akasha is the primary element from which every other element, from Vayu to Agni to Apas to Prithvi, are created. So, Akasha is that primordial, all-pervading substance which modifies into different frequencies and become different things. This is Akasha. So, from the point of view of an ordinary, our minds, Akasha is the highest, because it is of tranquil frequency, it has no movement. But Shankara says, I am not even the Akasha, I am beyond the Akasha. Akasha still is a concept. I am beyond all concept. I am Shivoham. So, even if the mind has reached, my mind for instance, or your mind has reached to that state of complete, like Akasha, quiet, it still hasn't touched that which is the supreme, because there even that concept ceases to exist. There is only pure consciousness, which cannot be defined. Then I am not the Sapta Dhatur, means 7 modifications to matter as it exists, nor the Pancha Kosha, nor am I the 5 sheets of consciousness. Now, this is Vedantic language. Vedantic language, there are sheets upon sheets. The first sheet, of course, is the Annamaya Kosha, the body, which survives through food, Annamaya Kosha. Then there is the Pranamaya Kosha, that sheet which deals with the breathing, with the element of life which is in breath. Then there is the, what is the next one? Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha is all things to do with the mind, with thought. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now, Vijnanamaya Kosha is the realized, the feeling of understanding, in that knowledge of understanding. It's not ordinary jnana. Ordinary jnana is to understand things through empirical knowledge. Vijnana is that which is understood when all other understanding is transcended. Vijnana. So, in that state one feels very blissful and all that, but Shankara says you are not that also. Vijnana, the understanding that I am that, is not that you are that, it's still in the realm of understanding, within the realm of thought. So, Vijnana. So, I am not Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then there is Anandamaya Kosha. Now, what happens is, since the Supreme Reality has been described as Chida Ananda, there is a likelihood of mistaking the bliss of calmness to be the Supreme Reality. The bliss of Ananda. So, to come to that which is beyond even the concept of Ananda, beyond even the sheath of the Anandamaya Kosha, that is what I am, Shivam, I am Shivam. So now, this is a Vedantic description of how one has to go beyond all sheaths to touch that. One can't go, but one has to realize that one is not these sheaths. You can't go, and who is going anywhere? Anyway, nobody is going anywhere. To understand this realization that even the Anandamaya Kosha is not part of, that's not the end. This is beyond even the Anandamaya Kosha, beyond all the 5 koshas. See, because even in the Anandamaya Kosha, there is a tendency of the mind to think that it wants to be absorbed in bliss. So, when the bliss, there is therefore also the fear that the bliss may go away. So, where there is fear and where there is uncertainty, it cannot be that which is real. Therefore, while Anandamaya Kosha is the highest state that the mind can reach at a particular point, the realization of the self is beyond the Anandamaya Kosha. It's a good thing, Anandamaya Kosha, enjoying is good, but you should realize that this also is not. See, Janaka, his guru, first teacher was Yajnavalkya. Now, Yajnavalkya taught him how to reach that state of Samadhi. Now, that state of Samadhi, I would say, was still in the Anandamaya Kosha, enjoying the bliss of being. Then one day, a cripple walks in, whose body is bent in 8 places, called Ashtavakra. And Janaka realizes that he is a great rishi, so he does whatever is required. Those days, even when COVID was not there, they used to wash the feet and all and come inside. I don't know if he was wearing a mask, but anyway. And then after he is seated and so on, at a safe distance, Yajnavalkya says, "Sir, what can I do for you?" So, not when can I do, but what can I do? So, Shankaracharya, Janaka says, and now I have reached the freedom of enjoying my true nature in Samadhi. Probably he is in the Anandamaya Kosha. So, Ashtavakra said, that is very good, so you can enjoy. So, can you go into Samadhi at any time you wish? He said, yes, I can. Okay. And then what happens after that? Then I come out of Samadhi. So, when you come out of Samadhi, are you still enjoying it? And Janaka says, no, but I can go at any time and enjoy. Oh, but you are dependent on that, right? You have to go and come back and go. So, there is always a dichotomy, a duality in this. So, do you know something where you neither need to go nor come out? This teaching is called the Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra Samhita also you can say, where Ashtavakra tells him the same thing in a different language, like the Nirvana Shatakam. You are not even the Anandamaya Kosha, you are beyond all koshas. Understand this, there is no going in, there is no coming out, always the same. Where are you going and coming? The moment you say I am going, then there is a limitation out there. When you say I am coming, there is a limitation out there. There is nothing, there is no going and no coming. There is just sitting without an edge. So, this sitting without an edge is the most important thing. So, this sloka says, therefore, I am not the 5 sheets of consciousness. Nava saptadhatur, nava panchakosha. Navak panipadam, I am vak. Navak, I am not speech. Speech cannot describe me. However much I try, I am now trying very hard, but can one understand? Chidananda, no. Words go and come back, they cannot understand what's happening. You know, after the end of the Kena Upanishad, at the end, this is how the Upanishads are. They go in very abstract terms and then they come to something so concrete that the concrete is related to the abstract in some way. Though the human mind cannot understand what's going on. So, the end of all this, after having understood that which the eye cannot see and the ear cannot hear and so on, and the mind cannot reach and so on. There is a beautiful story described to show this. The end of the Kena Upanishad. It's about the supreme reality, the source of the universe, the Shivoham. That Shivoham appearing suddenly in a spot to check the Devas and what they are doing. Now, the Devas are like us, you know, they are very proud of what they are doing, this, that. So, what are the Devas? All the senses are also Devas, the deities. And the king of the Devas is Indra. The senses are called Indriyas. Indra is the head of the chief of the Indriyas, all the 5 senses. And of course, the nature, wind and the fire and so on. So, this being appears as a yaksha. Yaksha means that an undefinable thing, not human, not God, something appears. Appears means he makes his presence felt, not that he appears. So, the Agni and Vayu and Indra, they are all standing around. They can sense something, but they don't know exactly what, how, why. Little perplexed. So, they say, let's go and explore what this fellow is. So, who goes first? Agni. Agni is the first fellow who, whenever such a situation arises, you will see that it is anger and fear and, you know, that agitation that comes out first. So, the great Agni goes there. He wants to ask the Yaksha, who are you? Before he can ask him, the Yaksha asks him, who are you? He says, I am Agni. What do you do? I can burn up the whole earth. I am the fire. Okay. Anything? Yes, I am Jata Vedas. I can destroy anything. And one spark is enough to burn down the whole world. So the Yaksha plucks a blade of grass and holds it before Agni and says, burn this. So Agni tries all the methods possible. Matchbox, lighter, blowing, nothing works. can't burn the little blade of grass which has been offered before you. He says, I can't. Gets confused and goes back. And the other devas are all waiting. So he tells them, hey, I can't understand what the hell. I can't burn this little grass which this fellow held before me. Who is this? What? So Vayu says, oh, I'll go. Brother, don't worry. So Vayu, the wind, goes. The Yaksha asks him, who are you? Vayu says, I am the wind god. I am Maruti. I can blow anything off from the face of the earth. I am also the breath that operates in you. He thinks that the Yaksha is breathing. I am the life breath. I am also the hurricane and the cyclone. I can take anything away with one blow. Yaksha says, okay. The same blade of grass is still there. He says, blow this. He blows and puffs and pans. No movement, nothing is happening. So he comes back and he says, hey, this is not understandable. First realization to strike them, not understandable. Under known circumstances, I am adding. Then Indra says, I am the lord of all the gods, I am the lord of the senses, he is the chief of all gods. Let me go and find out. Indra goes, there is no Yaksha, can't see the Yaksha. Not that Yaksha ran away, but he can't see the Yaksha. He comes back. Because Indra is the lord of the senses, Indriyas. The Indriyas cannot see that, cannot. So he comes back. Indriyas can neither see nor touch nor comprehend what it is. Comes back. At that point, a lady appears. A beautiful lady appears. And she says, I am the daughter of the Himalayas. Parvati, the daughter of the Himalayas. Sometimes I live in Chennai, sometimes in Koramangala. I am Parvati, the daughter of the Himalayas. And she says, you fool, fools, what were you trying to do? Agni, the energy that you have to burn comes from that. It is the source, and you are trying to burn. The energy that comes to you to blow away things, the source is that Yaksha. How can you challenge that Yaksha with that? And you think you are proud that you can see and enjoy everything. You cannot see that. It is the source of your sight. It is the seer. It's not the instrument. So how can you be so foolish? So throw your ego away, that you are the most powerful, then perhaps you'll understand what that Yaksha is. So they will go back. We don't know if Agni or Vayu or the five senses understood this, but anyway, they go back defeated. If they understood, they wouldn't have troubled us now. So I am not the Panchakoshas, I am not the speech, nor am I hands or feet, na vak, pani padam, na chopastya payu. I am neither the feet nor the hands. You see, we human beings, for us the most important thing after seeing, of course breathing is there, seeing, is the hands and the feet. 6 months I am finding it rather difficult. Feet. When you see someone holy, you worship the feet. The feet is what makes you stand. Now, hands, how do you think human beings have advanced so much? The chimp who has actually one chromosome more than us, we have one less, doesn't have the dexterity of the hands to create. He can only hold the branches and swing. Hands are very important. Gestures are very important. Mudras are very important. When you meet each other, you do this, or you do this, not now, but with hands we show direction. With hands we eat. One more thing, we wash. So hands are so important. I mean, after eating. So hands are important, the feet are important, without which even if you have eyes and ears, we will probably be confined to a wheelchair. We can't do it to stand up. And see the difference between other animals and human beings. We are the ones who stand up upright and walk. Their spines are all parallel to the ground. Once in a while the gorilla might stand up, but the gorilla or the chimp, but most of the time they're down. So their evolution is different. Our evolution is like this, their evolution is like this. So what is it that distinguishes us physically from them? The capacity to stand on our feet and the capacity to use our hands with great dexterity, hands and feet. So therefore we are so proud of them and we identify ourselves with that. Shankara says in Nirvana Shatakam, I am neither the feet of which I am proud of, nor the hands, nor the speech with which I can talk in a flowery way or abuse. See how wonderful speech is. The same words can be used either to praise somebody or to pull somebody down. But I am none of these. I am beyond all this. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham. I am of the essence of consciousness. I am blissfulness in itself. I am blissfulness. The third stanza, I am going to read it and just translate it. I will not go into the description because we have 10 more minutes. In the next talk, we will take it up. And after all this is over, then we will have the song. So, the third of the Shatakas, Name Dvesha Ragau, Name Lobha Mohau, Name Vai Madho, Naiva Matsarya Bhava, Na Dharmo, Na Charto, Na Kamo, Na Moksha, Chidananda Rupa. Now this is needs to go in very carefully. No moksha, no kama, both are not there. Because normally if you say I don't want kama because I want moksha, he's saying I am, see, if the Shivam of which I am the true essence is eternally free, why would it desire moksha? And what kama would it have? I know not pride or jealousy. Name vai madho, naiva matsarya bhava. Mada, pride. Name dvesha ragau, name lobha moho. I have no likes, I have no dislikes. I have no greed and therefore no delusion. This we will describe in the next chapter. So we have read Mano Buddhi Ahamkara Chittani Naham Nacha Shrotra Vijihve Nacha Grana Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhumir Na Tejo Na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now you can say Chidananda Rupa, but strictly is not required. Chidananda Rupa is enough. Nacha prana sanghyo navai panchavayu nava sapta dhatur nava panchakosha navakpani padam nachopastya payu chidananda rupa Shivoham. न मे द्वेष रागौ न मे लोभ मोहौ न मे वै मदो नैव मत्सल्य भावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम. न punyam, न papam, न saukyam, न dukkham. This also will have. न mantro, न tirtham, न veda, न yajna. Aham bhojanam, naiva bhojyam, न bhokta chidananda rupa shivoham. न मे मृत्यु शंखा न मे जाति भेदा पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बंधुर न मित्रम गुरुर नैव शिष्या. That is also not there. No guru, no shishya. चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम. अहम निर्विकल्पो निराकार रूपो विभुत्वच्छ सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणाम न च संगतम नैव मुक्तिर्न मेयः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम. I am neither free nor am I captive. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. So we will get in slowly. And how many we have done today? 2. So 6 means 2 every day. Ho jayega. I didn't calculate it. So thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sit down and think about what we read just now.